right, we're ready to get rolling. So I just mentioned full moon tomorrow, and full moon does have a way of making us a little bit more emotional and weepy. It can make us a little crazed and a little lunatikish. It can disrupt sleep. So at the end of our practice, we'll head, well, actually we won't head to the wall because it's too many here today. We'll create a slide at the end and lift our legs up so that it's kind of similar to legs at the wall where we're getting inversion. That's really helpful for the mind, kind of slowing things down, sedating us a little bit. And it's a good thing to remember if you are having insomnia, because you might as well get out of bed, go send the legs up the wall, or create something similar to what we do at the end of our practice, because it can lull you into a state of relaxation which can help you go to sleep. So it's always a good thing to remember around this time of the month. So with that being said, my classes on Wednesdays and Thursdays, I know I'm not here with you guys on those days, but they're with me on these days. And I've been going over the chakras, and the chakras are the energetic vortexes in the body, you know, and we talk about a major 7 of these. And this week we're on our final one, which is the crown. So last week when we were discussing the third eye, and this is all I want to say about it today, it governs imagination, visions, dreams, foresights, insights, intuition. So those intuitive hits that we get. This is also the area of the brain, if it gets more awakened, can lead people into more psychic abilities. So it's the gateway to that which lies beyond the 5 senses or just this physical plane of reality. Now, the crown of the head is even a step up from that. So the crown is about oneness, immunity, wholeness, ultimate wisdom. It's like considered the gateway to the cosmos or the gateway to the divine. Again, going beyond physical into the spiritual plane. So I wanted to bring that up because the month of March, and this is where we're going today, the month of March is a universal month of 1, according to numerology. And numerology is an ancient science. And with it being 1 is the initiator. 1 is a leadership. 1 is independence. 1 is a conduit between the heavens and the earth. 1 is being, you know, solid at home and valued in yourself. 1 is about new beginnings. And so if you ever follow astrology, all the astrologers are really excited about the month of March, because March is supposed to be initiating a lot of change. And I'll tell you one of these astrological things. Saturn is a planet that governs structure. It's been in the sign of Aquarius since March of 2020. We all know what happened in March of 2020. Good news, it's switching to Pisces, I believe the 12th. I could be wrong about the date, but this month it's changing into a different sign. Well, Pisces is about being intuitive, being creative, the dream world, you know, the mystical side of things. So we're switching gears, and that is going to be hopefully so refreshing. So this is a time where we're going to start to focus more on our mental health. And yoga is fantastic for mental health, because if you study yogic philosophy, it is psychology. It's not really all these poses that we do on the mat. It's so much more than that. So good news there. Chiron, the wounded healer, and Jupiter, which is the planet of expansion, are going into Aries. Aries is the beginning of the zodiac sign. Aries is the initiator, the leader, like all the things I just mentioned about 1 kind of symbolizes also what Aries offers. And with this thing happening with the planets, this is going to help us to be able to see that we can turn our greatest challenges into our greatest gifts. So it's like turning it into alchemy. or something. I don't know, I'm excited about it. I want you to be excited about it too. Oh, one more thing and then we'll get started. On February 20th, ties into what we're talking about today. Did I say February?
Yeah.
March, hello, we're in March. March 20th is the spring equinox. March 20th is the beginning of spring. March 20th is when Aries begins, and that is the astrological new year. March 20th, here, after this class at 12:15, Allison and I are doing a free meditation for 30 minutes. So we'll be talking about the astrology just a little bit. Mainly it's going to be a group meditation, and it's about co-creating and coming together as a group to envision, using that third eye to envision the world we want to live in, and to bring our energies together to meditate for world peace and for love to become our foundation. So that's going to be the objective on March 20th. If you can't come to class, come to the meditation or do both. Okay. We're going to start on our backs. And when you come to your back, we're going to go ahead and get in our first pose. So you're going to walk both feet over to the right corner of the mat. And see if you can extend your arms overhead and then swerve the upper body to the right as well. So you're basically forming the shape of a crescent moon. Now this pose is actually called banana asana. The pose shaped like a banana. And then let both of your sits bones rest on the floor. Let both of your shoulders rest on the floor. And if one or another shoulder is giving you any grief, feel free to bend your elbows or to bring one arm down beside you if you need to, because I don't want you to feel uncomfortable. And then close your eyes. We're opening up the lunar side of the body. And I want you to attempt to breathe into your left lung. Infusing it with prana and fresh oxygen. And replenishing it as you breathe out, sending out any allergens or toxins that have been trapped inside. Now, this deep yogic breathing is not only helping to purify the lungs, it helps to purify the nerve roots. It helps to purify the mind and can help to neutralize our emotions. Those of you whose emotions have been a little heightened, give yourself this breathing treatment. Deep diaphragmatic breaths. Breathing in and out through the nose unless you need your mouth. On your next inhale, let's go ahead and slide the left foot and the left hand over. Bring the head to the middle of the shoulders. You're creating a star-like shape with your body. Your limbs are shaped in the form of an X. And then just take a moment to breathe down into your belly and up into your heart. Now let's take it to the other side. Take your right foot over to your left. Take the right arm up alongside your ear and then curve your body to the left corners of the mat. Keeping both shoulder blades down, both sits bones down. And now breathing into the solar panel side of the body. Do the inner introspective work and notice the pockets of sensation. They may be in a similar place as the previous side, or it may show up differently on this side. Another thing to be contemplative about, since this is the full moon time of the month, is full moons are about culminations. And it's also a time where certain things can be highlighted within our subconscious mind. And in this particular month of March, this particular full moon is supposed to be renewing our sense of purpose. One more breath. And on your next in breath, go ahead and slide your right limbs over. Come back to that star shape. On your next out breath, bring your knees in towards your side ribs. Bring your arms around in front of you. Catch your knees or shins. And come to what's called stirrup or tree frog pose. Your thighs are wide open. And your low back is flattening to the floor. Let your ankles, feet, and toes remain soft. Since this is meant to be a little bit more passive, a little bit more yin.
So this is more of a yin pose. We're going to hold it just a bit longer. We're going to be doing a blended practice today, starting with a little yin. These first couple of poses. Moving into a warm-up that's more active. Building up to something a little bit more fiery when we stand. And then we'll be cooling it back down at the end. Let's hold for 3 more breaths. All right, let's descend the feet, slide them back out. Take the arms back overhead. You're forming that star shape. Now we're going to get more active with our warm up. So on your next inhale, you're going to lift your left leg and right arm up towards the ceiling and maybe even towards one another. Don't worry if they touch or not. It's not the point. And then slowly lower it back down as you breathe out. Inhale, right leg, left arm, alternate limbs. And then exhale, return back to the floor. All right, we're trying to keep the limbs extended as we lift, as well as we lower. Try not to think about it as swinging or kicking, but a nice, smooth motion stemming from the shoulders and hips. Now, as you can tell, this is also working the core of the body. Try to synchronize it with your pranayama, your breath. And we'll end on the right leg, left arm, since we started on the other side. And then once you return back to the floor, you're going to draw the knees back in towards your belly and chest, but this time they're knit together. You're coming into what we call Apanasana, wind release pose. And it is good for exactly what it translates to in English. This is why whenever we're taking care of infants, babies, right, we do this with their bodies. We tuck their knees in towards their belly to help them to get rid of gas. Same thing as adults. So this is providing a little compression to the belly. It's helpful for digestion. It usually feels so lovely to the low back as well. Close your eyes and affirm mentally within. I reduce any of my scattered forces to rise up and away into the sky. And I want you to think of those scattered forces being our scattered, restless thoughts that tend to run rampant in the mind, especially close to the full moon. All right, let's drop the feet to the ground. And you're going to hook your right leg over your left, just like you're sitting cross-legged in a chair. Your arms are going to extend out shoulder height, palms open. Now, pay attention to this. Some of you may need to keep the left foot to the floor as you turn into the twist. Some of you may need to just barely hover the left foot. And some of you may prefer tucking the knees in closer to the chest. It's going to vary with every person. But now roll the knees to the left side of the body. If that felt cranky in your back, if it's too much for your body, you can even uncross the legs and make the twist a little bit more gentle. But because we had the legs sprawled out, we were doing that forward, I wanted to give us a counter position. few more deep breaths in and out through the nose. For the last few breaths, if you feel the need to bring that rotation up into the neck, you can turn your head. I would turn the head towards the shoulder. That feels more grounded. That way it's easier for the neck. And then consider this new energy coming in for this month, this new season that's about to take place. And then affirm mentally, new energy is flooding, flowing through my being. Energy is flooding and flowing through my being. Now inhale, let's turn the knees back up and rotate the head to center. Uncross the right leg, recross, but with the left leg on top. And again, maybe the right foot needs to stay on the mat. Maybe you want to hover, maybe you want to tuck the knees in. Play around with it, see what works for you when you roll the knees off to the right. If it's too much, feel free to uncross. You can always use props to bring in more support. Life, new energy is flooding and flowing through my being. We're maintaining the twist. We're going to take a few more breaths, but if you rolled your head before, roll it the opposite direction now. And if you turned your head to one side, bring it back to neutral. Go ahead and line your knees back up. Uncross your legs. Take a moment to hug the knees back in. Now, you may have a preference. Thighs and knees knit together or separated apart. They're two different poses. We've done each one. Do your favorite. If you have the knees together, take your hands on top of them, push them away by straightening the arms, and then start to circle the knees several times one way. And then the other direction. Roll to your right side. Push that left hand into the floor and build your way up. All right. Now we're going to get up to stand. As you come up to stand, go ahead and find your strap so we can have it folded a certain way for when we get to it. We're not going to use it yet, but unroll it, fold it in half, and then have it on one side of your mat. Step to the front of your mat. Broaden the base of the feet. Maybe that requires a little rocking, maybe extending the toes apart. Plug the feet down, feel the muscles engage through your legs. Zip up through your midriff. Stand nice and tall with your shoulders back. Your head held up in Tadasana. So think about Tadasana being like the numeral 1. Being ready to initiate some renewal or change for yourself. And then bring your hands to prayer position at the heart. Inhale, sweep the arms to your sides and up overhead. Now look straight ahead with your eyes, chin parallel to the floor. Keep plugging and drilling the feet down. Keep spinning the palms to face each other and fly up through the fingertips. Feel your back muscles waking up, your core elongating, your side body awakening. And now lean your head back, look up towards your wrists. Feel that squeeze to the upper back, the little back bend you're receiving. Bring the thumbs to the back area behind you. Roll the elbows in towards your temples, puff up through your chest, lean your head back into your hands, and breathe up into your heart. Inhale, extend the arms overhead. Keep your palms together and then fold halfway down where your wrists separate and come to that hip crease at your upper thighs, shoulders back, tilt forward. Keep your legs structured so that you're coming into Padahastasana. Shoulders back, crown of the head reaching forward. And now exhale, softly bend your knees and let your hands just slide down and fold into yourself. Letting your head bow. Opening up this main energetic channel that travels through the back of the body. Giving some refreshment to the mind, as well as to the face and the sensory organs. All right, you're gonna press down through the feet again, which will start to straighten out your leg bones. Take your hands to prop onto your shins. Lengthen out through the spine, but look straight down below your face. All right, inhale, we're bringing the arms back up overhead. Coming into that upward worship. That one being a conduit between the heavens and the earth. Bring the thumb just behind your neck. Arms are gonna roll in towards the ears. Lift through your floating ribs. Breathe slowly and deeply up into your heart. We often in teacher training would say it's polishing the mirror of the heart. And there's a great book called Polishing the Mirror by Ram Dass. If you've never read it, it's fantastic, especially if you're going through grief, because there's a great chapter on dealing with death and grief. Inhale, fingertips reach up. Exhale, hands come down. Let's bring it back to the upper thighs. Create that 90-degree angle or L shape with your body. So you are pushing lightly into your thigh bones and driving the heart forward. And then softly bend your knees. Slide your hands down the legs. Flip the hands upside down. And then loosely hang the head and the neck. You can even give a little nod here. Yes, no, or a blend. Affirming as you hold this position. Nothing and no one on this earth can hold me down or back. All right, inhale, press through the feet, slide your hands up your shins, straighten out through your arms, extend long through your back. Look down below the eyes. We're gonna do that one more time. Inhale, coming up, Urdhva Hastasana. Gazing straight ahead, hands separate, and then reach up taller, hang the head back, upward worship. Exhale, thumbs to the back, elbows roll in. Create your back bend here. Gazing up towards one of the ceiling panels or where the wall meets the ceiling. Inhale, bring the hands up. Exhale, bring the palms down through your midline, separate them out. Belly hugging in. And then bend the knees, slide the hands down. And release. All right, so this is where we're gonna start to use the blocks. So if you find your blocks, bring them beside your feet. And you're gonna step back with your right foot. And when you step back with the right foot, you're still lunging the front knee. And then find your stability and balance as you float the head over the shoulders and stack the shoulders over the pelvis. Nice. And then inhale, reach the arms forward and up overhead. We're coming into our crescent or high lunge. Good. As we exhale, we're going to bring the hands down. And then we're slowly going to straighten out the front leg. Once you straighten out the front leg, I want you to think about your right hip and slightly dial it around to face the front of the room. So the hips are more square. You can keep your arms extended and your spine more parallel to the floor, or you have the option to release and drape over the front leg if you want a little bit more stretch. Good. Now re-bend that left knee. Inhale, carry the arms back up. Sometimes going slower makes it harder. So these standing poses are our challenge today, is what I'm trying to tell you. Balance and breathe. Exhale, bring the hands down, restructure the front leg, square the hips, and determine, do I want to be here or do I want to drape? Now, it also depends on the feedback you're getting from the body. Depends on where your limitations are. All right, do that one more round. Bend the front knee, slowly lifting the hands up in the air. Crescent or high lunge. Exhale, bring the hands down. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, square the hips. And your option to bow out. I'm affirm mentally within, I'm giving myself over into the flow of grace. All right, when you're ready, bend the front knee, step the back foot forward, and immediately step your left foot back. All right, keep that right knee lunging, the knee aligned over the ankle. Nice. And pick up your hands and inhale, slowly sail it up. Now make sure that front knee is not caving in. You want to open it out so you have a clear view of the big toe. Let your breath be your fuel. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, press down through the right foot, straighten out the right leg, square the hips by dialing the left hip forward, determining to stay there or to lower the head and heart. Yogi's choice. Good, re-lunge that right knee. Inhale, lift the arms up overhead. Come back into your high lunge or crescent lunge. Gaze straight ahead with your eyes. Find your drishti points. That will help to maintain mental focus. Good. Exhale, lower the hands to the blocks or floor. Inhale, restructure and straighten that front leg. Good. Roll that left hip slightly forward. Make sure the sacrum feels even and level. And then determine, do you want to keep your torso parallel or do you want to fold in? Always have the option. And remember, we're habitual creatures, so sometimes it's nice to change it up. All right, when you're ready, lunge that front knee, third round, crescent or high lunge. You're gonna love the next one. This is our warm up for the next little set. All right, exhale, hands down. Inhale, straighten out. And then your option to lower. Giving ourselves over into the flow of breath. Nice, now lunge that right knee. Step that back foot forward. And let go of the blocks and fold back in. This time with straight legs, unless that's uncomfortable for your back. If it's uncomfortable for your back, try bending the knees. All right, we're gonna get more structured here and a little bit more fiery. So hands back to the block, step back with your right foot. And then take a baby hop forward so that you're flattening the back heel to the mat. And then find your strap and safely, cautiously come up. Good, so you still got your footing, still have your foundation. Now, if you're trying to square the hips here and your low back or your SI joints are really upset, don't force it. Just be a little bit more neutral here in the pelvis. Otherwise, hold your strap, shoulder distance apart, and lift the arms in front of your chest. All right, so notice if you're starting to poke your bottom ribs out. And if so, draw the ribs in and the belly up. Belly up, ribs in. When that occurs, you might feel the right side of your glutes get a little firmer. All right, try to maintain what we just created in our midriff as you lift the arms overhead. So in other words, notice if you're getting ribby again. If so, iron the ribs down, draw the navel in, and notice how that changes up the back leg, the calf, the footing. Can't you feel the strength building? Makes it a little harder, I know. Exhale, bring the arms down, let go of one side, take the strap behind your back. Now we will be getting ribby, okay? So everything I just said, we're gonna forget about, because the shoulders are gonna roll back. When the shoulders roll back, you can't help but do a back bend, which means the ribs are gonna poke forward. And then stretch long through your arms, lift the hands away from the buttocks, breathe here at the top. Exhale, hinge forward and humble the warrior. And if your shoulders are a little upset by this, try widening your hands. Maybe that will help. As the head lowers, notice how the shoulders want to drop towards your ears. So fly your hands up, 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 and away. Pressurize the feet, especially the front foot, to now slowly come up. Good, when you come up, release one end of the strap, bring it back in front of your chest. Line everything back up again, the first way. Lift the arms overhead to frame the face. Similar to lightning lunge without the mudra, we're gonna hinge forward, leaning into it. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And then let the strap go. Oh my goodness, step forward with your back foot and fold in. All right, am I the only one feeling that? That's a lot, right? All right, inhale, left foot steps back. It's a lot, but it's good. All right, hop the back foot, baby step forward to ground that heel. Regather your strap. Find your footing, solidify that foundation, front knee is still bent, back leg is more straight, and determine here, because each side's different. Each SI joint's different. You might be able to square the hips more on with one foot forward and not so much with the other foot forward. So always listen to that feedback. All right, bring the arms in front. And if you're getting a little pokey through the ribs, hide them. Like you've got a corset on, but you can still breathe. Because corsets want to make your breath go away. All right, inhale, let your arms fly up. Try to maintain that structure through your midriff. Good, bring the arms down, let go of one side, take it behind your back. Now, shoulders roll back. Arms lengthen away. Breathe up into your heart. Exhale, dive to the inside of that front knee. Notice how the arms want to loosen up. That reignites some fire in your arms. Lift the shoulders away from your earlobes. Feet are anchored. Breath is stable. And then inhale, pressurize the right foot. Lead with your arms to come up. And then bring the strap back around. Restructure the ribs, restructure and tighten through the left side of the buttocks. And when you're ready, arms lift up. We're almost done, you guys. This is why when you came in, Lily, it felt so warm because we were doing sun cells and we were doing a lot more than this, but this was part of our last class. But can't you feel the heat building inside your own body? I feel the heat just raised in the room from doing just this sequence. All right, exhale, release the strap. Oh my goodness. Okay, the back and forward. Then need to Epsom salt back here. And then roll down. Uttanasana. Good. From your Uttanasana, separate your blocks away. We're going to step into plank. Streamlining shoulders, wrists. So the arms are like columns. And then press back, downward facing dog. Arms alongside your ears, legs stretching back, spine opening up. Fixating your eyes on one placement and breathe. All right, when you're ready, slowly baby stepping forward, meditationally walking to the top of the mat. Bend the knees, put some charge into your feet, bring the arms forward and up. And exhale, hands to heart center. All right, this half of the room face the middle, this half of the room face the middle, and I'm going to turn to face you guys. You know, whichever way you want. Probably facing them would be better. You can join me. Okay. We're a team. All right, so look down at your feet. You want them at least as wide as your arms would be. Okay, so if you stretch out into that 5-point star, are your feet as open as your arms? All right, then relax your arms down. All right, roll the shoulders back. Turn your right foot. Now you're not going to be mirroring each other. So your right foot, half of you will turn to the back wall, half of you will face the front wall. We got our own thing going on. Lift your arms up, shoulder height again. Gaze out towards that foot you just turned, but across the fingertips of that hand hovering above. And now lunge that right knee. Take warrior 2. Good, inhale, straighten the right leg, turn the right foot in, keep the arms out. Look down to make sure you turn the foot properly. And then rotate your left foot. to the other short end of the mat, lunge the knee, look out over that hand. Warrior two. Inhale, straighten that leg. Exhale, turn the foot in, look down and make sure you turn it properly. Take the hands to the hips. Let the shoulders stay rolled back, which means you're getting a little ribby here. Pull the belly in towards the spine and start to hinge forward and fold. Now, if you need to keep the chest open, shoulders open, you're going to stay here with your hands to your waist and your elbows lifting up towards the ceiling. If that's not really an issue for you or something that you really need at play right now, just send your hands towards the floor and just relax into it. Sometimes we structure the arms, but you don't have to today. You can even slide the hands through and flip them upside down. This is just going to be our final inversion. So even though we're again opening at the back of the legs, we're also aiding the heart, the mind, calming the nervous system. Take 3 more breaths. All right, so you're all going to be a little bit different, okay? So you're going to turn towards the foot that can rotate to bring you towards the front side of the room. And you're going to spin off the back heel long enough to step to plank again. And then we're going to just slowly come down to the floor. Specifically, I know some of you have a hard time coming down to your knees, but we're not staying on the knees. We're going to take the legs out in front. Yeah, just take your time. All right, bend your right knee. Open up from the hip. Flex out the left foot. Okay, so I want us to stabilize here instead of twisting and getting like this. Because this sometimes happens. I'm going to give you different angles of this. This is what we're trying to avoid. Do you see how I'm not grounded here? And do you see how this is all tilted? We want to keep this stable so that when we turn, see the difference? Okay. I'm going over that because I'm seeing it more and more lately. I just want a good reminder. Stack, stabilize here. Flex out that left ankle, push down through the left thigh bone, lift up through the top of the head. Good. Now release your hands, twist to the right. Left hand to the bent knee, right hand behind your back. Nice. I think sometimes it may be because we lift the arms overhead and then we're swirling. I think that may be part of it. So we're just approaching it a little different today. Channel the breath up and down. So we've been really, really fortunate. Well, actually, I don't know how your weekend went, whenever that storm came through. But most of us have been really, really fortunate about not losing power. You know, like there's a lot of stuff like that happening globally, but even across the United States. So close your eyes and use this as your affirmation. I radiate my love, goodwill, and compassion to soul friends everywhere. And keep those people in your mind. Keep the people in Ohio in your mind. You're sending this out to them. All the toxins that they're facing, the air, the water. All right, exhale and bind. All right, lift the right knee, slide it out. Bend your left knee, open the hip. So I failed to mention this, but obviously, most of you have been around long enough and have been practicing long enough. If you need that support, add it in. All right, now what's happening here? Is it kind of turning out or turning in? Can you fly the toes up? Can you Contract your quads to keep it in place. Hands to the hip, stabilize through the pelvis. Lift up the top of the head. Exhale, wind your way to the left. Right hand to the bent knee, left hand behind your back. Channel your breathing. Firm. Radiate my love, goodwill, compassion to soul, friends everywhere. Exhale and one. All right, bring the soles of the feet together. Do one more pose before we restore. Folding over the feet, coming into Baddha Konasana. So we've done a couple poses to open up the hips this way. We're doing our warrior twos. That last twist. But now we're going a little deeper into those inner thighs. Slowly lift up. All right. So remember I said I wanted to lift the legs up? That's where we're going now. So let's create. Now, you can create a slide, tall middle, or middle lower. What do you need? I'll get you something. You want your bolster? So I actually like the taller one, but you can switch it up. And Denny, what are you gonna do today? You gonna do the slide today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just low.
You can also do Stonehenge, if that's a preference for you. But you'll just scoot a little closer. Send the legs up. Lower the head down, and then of course check in because you may need a blanket under your head and neck. You may want a blanket as weight over your abdomen. And if you're already close to a wall, feel free to do legs up the wall for the full expression. I'm going to be changing out the music here. So this particular full moon in Virgo, just want to share just a couple notes I took about it. It can help us to understand a new way of doing something. So maybe some way we can improve something in our lives or even self-improvement. This energy can create more synergy between the mind and the body. And we may even discover that we need to form more breaks in our schedule or to clear some things from our calendar. It's a great time to tune into our intuition, to trust what feels right. And the nice thing about practicing yoga is this is part of yogic philosophy, right? We get to test the waters with these poses, different types of breath work to see what feels right for us as individuals. So for the remainder of this time together, let your body restore its pose. Give your mind these moments to relax. And just trust the inner alchemy is already happening.
you need something to meditate on, I would suggest just watching and witnessing your breath, or listening to the Om So Hum mantra playing in the background. Lounge, integrate some of this work. Start to deepen the flow of your breath. Add in a little movement to your hands and feet. Let's exit the pose by plugging the knees in. And maybe sway or rocking side to side. Turn it over to one. Forming a seat. Bringing your hands to prayer position at your heart. Deep breaths. Any lessons you've learned here on the mat with you, off the mat today. Remember to bring in your yogic philosophy, not just while you're here practicing, but transfer it over to life. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Being here today, mark it on your calendar, free meditation. It'll be guided group on the 20th. That way you won't make any appointments right after, and maybe you can hang out with us. And then after that, maybe a group of us want to go out to eat together or something, you know, we can always do that. Have a beautiful rest of your week.